So most people, when they look at my drawings, they would say that my drawings have this kind of a loose style. Some may like it and some just don't like that kind of loose style. So anyways, I was discussing with my friend Roger about what it means to draw loose. And we were saying that it means wobbly lines, lines that are a bit distorted. The lines may overshoot their mark. Sometimes they might look unfinished. Mistakes are displayed rather than carefully hidden. It looks carefree, relaxed, like I just don't care in a good way. And it's like wearing t-shirt and shorts on a weekend. So why do I draw loose? I would say that drawing loose is really great for when I just want to draw for fun, when I don't really want to really stress about it, when I just want to just relax and just treat it like play. So how do I draw loose? How do I loosen up my sketching when I want to just draw for play? Okay, let's start with the mental part, because the mental part is what affects everything. So when I'm doing the lines, there are so many things I could focus on. But when I want to draw loose, I often choose to focus on just one most important thing. Usually I choose to focus on capturing the shapes as accurately as possible and making sure the proportions and angles of the shapes are right. And sometimes I might take on a second but less important focus, like maybe the person's expression or perspective to guide the angles of my shapes. Oftentimes it's just shapes. And for everything else, I don't focus on them. I put minimal energy into them. I just let them fall into place however they want. I don't think much about them, even if they get messed up. So it's kind of like in Star Trek where they divert all power to forward shields. So I divert all my focus to just one or the most two things, and then deprioritize the rest. As a result, I get shapes that look right, but the lines are wonky and distorted, like I didn't care about them. The thing is, I really didn't. And that's pretty much how I get this loose style. Still, to do this, I had to train my mind to be okay with mistakes. So I tell myself that if there are mistakes in the drawing, or maybe we can call them imperfections in the drawing, and if people see it, they might find it relatable. Because everyone makes mistakes, and it's easier to relate to someone that has a weakness or a struggle rather than someone who has it all together all the time. So showing mistakes or imperfections can actually be a good thing. So that's the mind part. And now here are a few other things that help me to draw loose. I try not to use a ruler or eraser, so it's harder to keep things neat or to do refinements. I hold my drawing tools further back and I don't hold it so tightly. That makes me have less control over my art too, but it gives me more fluidity. I feel that drawing loose is about letting go. So sometimes I find tools that help me to lose control, like this Speedball steel brush. Seems to be made of like steel and some brass sheets all clamped together. I just put it in a regular dip pen holder, and although I think it's meant to be used flat, but if I tilt it on its side and draw at an angle, I get very interesting, unpredictable lines like these. Perfect for helping me lose control. I love the sound it makes too. Gosh, I could do this all day, but let's move on with a drawing sample. So as you can see, it's pretty hard to control. And it'll probably give you this very messy look. But to me, this is awesome. I guess it all depends on your threshold for imperfections. And this is what I drew with it using Van Dyke Brown dye. Another art tool that helps me lose control is the Da Vinci Vario Tip brush. It's designed with these jagged hairs like what you might find in an old scraggy brush. And these are the lines it can produce. As you can see, it's almost impossible to produce a neat line. But for me personally, I find these lines super interesting. I absolutely love these lines. They're full of character. And the unpredictable nature of this brush presents me with all kinds of surprises along the way. And here are some drawings I did with the brush some time ago. This is a long hair brush, and you've seen me use this brush in my previous video about why I sketch. And as you can guess, the long hairs makes it hard to control that line, and that stray hair actually raised the imperfection to another level. My friend Roger has one more.
Well, a 12-year-old McKellen could help you loosen your lines too.
So there you go. Everybody has a different way to loosen up. And here's a technique that always helps me loosen up. Instead of doing the lines first, I do the coloring first and then the lines. I find it pretty relaxing and it uses a lot less brain power. So when I'm coloring, I'm just focusing on the silhouette shapes first, and then I'm adding in all the shadows and shades like what I would usually do toward the end of a drawing. Okay, this is pretty messy, but I'm gonna ignore the imperfections and see how it turns out. Then once the paint has really dried, I choose a line tool and add in the lines wherever it's needed. Some parts may already be defined by the color, so I don't need to add lines there. I see this technique a lot in picture books and illustrations. I really like how it gives me that loose, carefree look. So these are ways how I draw loose, and you may find that you might have other ways. Please share them in the comments section below, and thank you for watching.